Hey, one thing for sure, I ain't never been a runner. Hanging out the window, I was always gunning. Got a little feet work, then I start hunting. Take 'em out the game, I'ma kill all opponents. Even in the rain,
Yo, what is good, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Jahmar Williams, and as you can see, the last video kind of went crazy a little bit. It did a lot better than I thought it would, so it seems that y'all enjoy this type of content. Also, real quick before we get started today, I just want to say thank you guys so much for 1K. We hit the big, I don't have a 1K special setup. I really didn't know when I was gonna hit it or if. So I didn't really plan anything, but if you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments below. That'll be cool. Either way, you see the title of the video, you know what we're finna get into. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. So, the premise of the video, as you can see, is we're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, I follow this group called RDC World 1 on YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that. They make comedy skits about anime and sports and a bunch of other stuff. Super hilarious dudes, big inspirations. Either way, they went on Twitter and said some crazy. Hold on, give me one sec. They said, all right, y'all, real quick. We arguing which nation is the weakest on Avatar. Who y'all got? They put up a poll, just so people can vote. And this is crazy. People said 12% for Fire Nation, 35% for Water Nation, 19% for Earth Nation, 34% for Air Nation. So Water Nation won by 1% for the weakest nation. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I got I got a little bit of a different opinion about this. So we finna get into it though. I'm finna back it up, but so I don't know if y'all seen recently, but Avatar's been trending a lot on Twitter, like almost every day, or at least every week for the live action show that just came out. It's on Netflix. I wish they didn't sponsor this, but I wish they did. But it seems solid, I don't know if any of y'all saw the movie from way back in the day, back in 2012. The movie was so bad. It's the worst I've ever seen. But the show seems pretty solid. I've only seen episode 1, and I will say my only gripe is what most people have been complaining about, which is the acting. It's pretty trash. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But either way, I need to watch the whole show before I get my full review. But today we're talking about the animated show, the Last Airbender animated show. If you haven't seen that, go watch. Side note, to preface this, I have not seen Legend of Korra. So that's next on my list. So keep that in mind. I also watched Avatar for the first time last year.
What?
So I know y'all finna be like, you can't be talking about this, but I think if anything, it makes me better qualified to talk about this because it's fresh in my mind, So either way, we're finna get into it. Let's go. I'm getting old. There's a lot of people on Twitter that were, saying, oh, Air Nation for this, Water Nation for this, Fire Nation for this. We're gonna break it down right now and get to the bottom of this. So first up, Air Nation, right? The Air Nation, we're gonna talk about, the way we're gonna do this is it's gonna be feats and then losses or L's. So what they were lacking in versus their strongest accomplishments. And it could be individual people, it could be the whole nation, whatever. But that's how we're gonna break this down, just to give y'all context. So in the Air Nation, if you remember, right, I'm just gonna list some of the feats. We had Aang creating a tornado against Boomy. This is in one of the earlier episodes. Boomy was testing him to make sure, he was ready to be helped or worthy to be helped or whatever. And Aang had to create a big ass tornado to fight against him. That was pretty lit, so I even call that a feat. And then we also have Aang, he cooled down an entire volcano to save a village. I don't remember the episode number, but he literally, by himself, by the way, there was lava coming down towards the village, cooled it off, froze it up, saved the village single-handedly with air, just air, by the way. And then, just for fun, we're gonna throw this in there because this technically counts. Avatar Kyoshi, she literally split an entire island in half with air bending and separated herself when they were accusing Aang of the whole killing the leader or whatever. She split a whole island in half by herself. Pretty big feat, right? Now, I will say, as far as weaknesses go, or L's, I guess, with the Air Nation, mentality. Easily mentality. They're all about peacefulness and being not being in conflict and not hurting people if they don't have to. But in reality, they're dogs. They're dogs. Them niggas fight, bro. They just choose not to fight, which is their biggest downfall. If they fought more, if they were more aggressive, they'd be unstoppable. Their mentality of not wanting to fight is the biggest weakness because it holds them back a lot more. That's Air. Agree, disagree, I don't care. That's the facts. So, moving on. Transition. Anyways, next up, the dogs. Fire Nation. You know, the biggest op in the show. You know, the anti-hero, anti-protagonist, antagonistic ways. So I don't know if you guys remember Jong, I think that's his name. We're just gonna call him JJ. JJ, he created a wall of fire to protect Aang and his group when Aang came to him to learn firebending. A lot of people consider that the biggest feat because that takes obviously a lot of skill to just create a giant wall of fire. And then also the other biggest feat, there's a lot. By the way, just to give y'all, just to make sure y'all are aware, like there's a lot of feats I'm not talking about, but I'm just listing like 2 to 3 for each nation so we can get through the video quicker. There's a lot of feats though, but the other biggest one I want to talk about is Iroh. Towards the end, when he was with the White Lotus group, he blasted a hole through the wall of Ba Sing Se, which is crazy because if you know how thick that wall is, they literally had multiple episodes where the Fire Nation tried to get a drill through the wall and they couldn't do it. He did it by himself with one fireball. Granted, it was during the comet, but still crazy. So yeah, Fire Nation, full of some dogs. Weaknesses wise, I'm gonna say this was a little bit tricky to like figure out, but I'm gonna say they get weaker at night because there's no sun. So it gets a little bit colder, so therefore their fire isn't as strong. But then also, they often just like lose battles because, and people were arguing this online, I saw a lot, but people were saying the element itself is kind of weak. It kind of stems from them wielding it with hate instead of like wielding like the true power of fire like Zuko and Iroh. They wield it with hate. So a lot of people say the element's weak because if you really think about it, Fire Nation gets maxed out a lot during the show. they really do get maxed out a lot. Like they'll be like 10 to 1 and they'll still lose. Granted, they're like the enemy, they're like grunts and stuff, is supposed to lose, but like, dude, like fire, and they get maxed out a lot. So respectfully. But that's Fire Nation. That's the strengths and weaknesses. So take it as you will. Obviously, there's a lot more, but we're going to move on for the sake of the video. So next up, we got the dog. Singular. Next up, we got the dog. Dog, again, singular. Earth Nation. You know? Don't let me not disrespect him. So obviously we're gonna talk about my goat, Toph. Feats for the Earth Nation. I guess we'll lump this in. Toph single-handedly carried a library. I don't know if I remember the one episode where they went underground to like look for the book of knowledge or wisdom or whatever that had all the answers. Literally, it was sinking and Toph single-handedly by herself, by the way, held it up for like 20 minutes, bro. Like she literally held it up by herself. Never seen someone do that. It's crazy. She also learned metal bending, which I heard in Legend of Korra is also a big thing. Like I said, I haven't seen that, but she also taught herself metal bending while she was captured. She also, when they were running up the castle at Ba Sing Se, she turned the stairs into a slope, like just on the fly, bro. And oh my God, coolest thing ever. So, sorry, I'm glazing right now. But also we could talk about like just for general for Earth Kingdom, we have the elite guard, the elite soldiers, the Terra team. Yeah, the Terra team. They protected what's her name when she took over the castle, and they were like they were pretty good. They were like the elite, you know, elite crew people. They were like the Anbu of Avatar. Got it from RDC. Shout out RDC. But it's true. They were like the elite. They were dogs. But Earth Kingdom in general, as far as weaknesses goes, they got infiltrated by Azula and her little like squad, and literally got overtaken like trash. Like it was. I was like, bro, are you serious right now? Also, they took a lot of L's just in general throughout the show. They got like beat in fights a lot. They got overtaken a lot. They just took a bunch of L's. Like I feel like they didn't deserve it for real, because Earth Kingdoms are really some dogs, but they just got whooped. They got whooped a lot. Also, I want to point out when Sokka's dad was on the ship and he got captured by the Fire Nation, they couldn't do anything. There was no Earth to bend, so they literally were just helpless. That's a pretty big weakness. There's no Earth around. They can't do anything. They're literally, that's it. So they got hoed there, but it's a weakness. It's a valid weakness, so I got to put it on there. Toph Loki carried the Earthbenders, but that's the point. Earth Kingdom. Done and done. Next, we're talking about, you know who's next. It's the last one, bro. Come on now. Yo. So, next up, or I guess last up, we have Water Nation, the nation that the show first started with. So we're gonna start with really Katara's, and Katara, that one scene where she was hunting down her mother's killer and she stopped the rain. We all remember that. That scene was iconic. That was very impressive because, you know, it's not an easy thing to stop rainfall in an area. But she did that. And then there was also that one time where when she was dressing as a painted lady, she was like pushing the ships around and stuff. And she was like she got real angry. She was just like, ah! You know, the people that were trying to take over the village, the not pirates, but the Fire Nation niggas, she was like manhandling their ships with ease. That was crazy. That was a pretty big feat. There's a lot of other ones, but those are like the main like two that I could find or like think of. Cause you know, Water Nation, like they box, like they be getting down for the most part in the show. Like they be boxing, but they also be getting waxed, you know, here and there. I'm not gonna act like they win every fight, cause they don't. Now, as far as weaknesses go, there was the North Water Nation, the Northern Water Tribe. They got dropped off by the Fire Nation. Granted, they had the whole like moon thing going on, but you know, they got maxed out by the Fire Nation. So that was it's pretty rough. I feel like, yeah, like I said, they just you know get maxed out in a lot of battles either way. Then I said this for Earth Nation, so I'm gonna say it for the Water Nation too. But if there's no water nearby, bro, there's not really much you can do. And I know you're gonna be like, oh, you can get water off the grass and off the trees. True, but how many people actually know how to do that? You know? And then on top of that, it's like, I mean, granted, it's a lot better than Earth because there's a lot more water than there is. I feel like it's easier to get trapped off from, well, no, because if you're in the desert, you could get hoed. I don't know. But either way, I gave it to Earth, so I gotta give it to water. If there's no water around, you can't do anything. You're hoed. Now we're getting to the juice part of the video because we're gonna get into my opinion. And unlike last video, I'm actually gonna go in on this. So here we go. All right, y'all. You made it to the end. My conclusion time. What do I think? Who do I think is the weakest nation? Now, this is gonna be conflictual, but by process of elimination, Air Nomads are some dogs. Granted, they were passive, so they didn't get to capitalize a lot on their strengths as they should have, but they're some dogs. If they really wanted to, they're not losing. Fire Nation, yeah, they're also just demons. Like, even though they don't draw on the full power of fire, the fact that they're able to conquer almost all the nations without even using the full power of fire is crazy. So they get it. They're definitely up there. They're not weak. Before I say my answer, I just want to preface this and say all the nations are strong. Like, the show wrote and made every single nation very well balanced, very strong in their own senses. But back to the topic at hand. Now, I'll say that Earth did take a lot of L's. You know, they have the people that are really strong in Earth, but they did take a lot of L's. But they box for the most part. They just had it rough. Water Nation, they fight. Mostly all their people can fight. They got maxed out a lot too. Unfortunately, they got hoed. But when they fight, boy. They be getting down. You know, tsunamis and shit, you know? So, a process of elimination. Also, just gonna mention, I forgot to say this before, I'm not including bloodbending. Because that's an external factor. Not everyone can do bloodbending, as far as I know. In Avatar, not everyone can do blood. It's only a Katara thing, so we're not counting that for the entire population. So, same with metal bending, we're not counting that. Toph can do it, but we're not counting it really as a feat. I know I said it earlier as a feat, but like, not everyone can. Well, maybe a core they can, but either way. So, the weakest nation by process of elimination is Earth. What? Now, I know this is gonna make some niggas take up arms and be like, what? It's not Earth. It's Earth. It's Earth. Because they have dogs. They have Toph, Demon. It's my favorite character, Toph. They got Boomy. Boomy is, honorable mention. He literally was OP. He was the strongest like Earthbender that wasn't an Avatar, and besides Toph, but he was a dog too. But other than that, I know they had like the elite assassins and stuff, but like, I feel like we just saw Earth getting like manhandled a lot more in the show than Water. I feel like Water also is a lot more, I can't say more versatile, because Earth is literally Earth, bro. You can bet, like, they showed some cool stuff in the show with Earth too. But I feel like in general, nation-wise, it's gonna be Earth, bro. Earth always loses. Water loses too, but it's gonna be Earth for me. I'm sorry, y'all, but fight me about it in the comments. Hey, you know, look, if you disagree, comment down below. Comment why. Comment first which nation you think is the weakest. Then comment why. Then comment why I'm wrong. And I'm not gonna argue, but I'll debate. You know, we're gonna keep it friendly over here, but I'm gonna debate you. It's Earth. Earth is the weakest. I'm sorry. Toph carries Earth a lot, but she can't do it by herself, bro. Her and Boomy can't do it by themselves. So that's just the truth of it. Sorry, Ruth. Now again, I know this is gonna spark some debate, but that's the purpose of the video, to get y'all niggas to talk. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I actually want to know what you think, because every forum I've seen on this is very mixed. So I'm very excited to see what you guys have to say. But either way, if you enjoyed the video and stuck with it through the whole process, I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here, consider subscribing. It's free, and we just passed the big 1K, so we only up from here. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Even if you don't agree with me, leave a like, bro. Please. It helps the video a lot. But I'm enjoying doing these style of videos. It's new for me, but I've always wanted to make, like, not yapping videos, but like videos where I'm like breaking stuff down. I feel like that's very fun to do for me. A big inspiration when I was growing up was Third Pew, Nathan Zed now, but his style of videos is literally like, I love his style of videos. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm modeling these after. But you know, respect to him, the GOAT. But either way, hope y'all enjoy. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next video. I said video like 3 times. Peace, y'all.